Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to the weekly energy reading, the weekly wisdom reading. Hope you guys are doing good. No, I'm here a little later than typical, but I did definitely need the extra 30 minutes. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit because it wasn't for an appointment. It was just for me. But I hope you guys are doing well. If this is your first time tuning in, hello. I am Soleil. I am the founder and facilitator of the Trauma School Mentorship Program. I am Coven Mother of Vision of Dontor. I am your weekly reader, and I'm a dope bitch straight up out of Oakland. Hello, Dulcinea. Hello, La Balin. Hello, Nero. Hello, Nicole. Hello, everyone who is here. Everyone who will trickle in eventually. Thank you for joining. This is just the weekly reading. It's very simple. This is where we tap in and see what the energy of the week ahead has in store for us. Happy spring equinox. To those who did not get to join us this past Thursday, where we talked a lot about the spring equinox. Those spring equinox readings are also available for people who did not get to get one on Thursday, okay? So we will start in just a moment. Again, the ground rules. Some of you guys may be here because you saw me post in a group that I'll be taking questions from the audience. And I most definitely will. I do every week. But that happens after I get through the spreads for the general forecast, okay? So my request is that everybody hold their questions until I've gotten through all the general spreads. And then I will do updates about things that I'm offering and working on. And then this did not stay burning for some reason. Love Palo Santo, but it's a little temperamental. Yes, I'll take questions from the audience after I give updates. But first, let's start with the general reading. Let me go ahead and pause the music. We'll use True Tarot. I haven't used this as the primary deck in a long time. Actually, let's use Millennial. We'll use Millennial this week and then clarify with Tarot of Divine and True Tarot if needed. Okay. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and start with our general spread. Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits that walk with me, my elevated ancestors. What wisdom do we as a collective need about the energy of the week of March 23rd through the 29th? What do we need to be and what do we need to see about ourselves, our habits, and our environments that will allow us to move through the next 7 days with clarity and mastery? Give us insight into the nature of any lessons, blessings, challenges, breakthroughs that are coming our way. Anything we need to know in order to prepare and protect ourselves. Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Hey Jess, good to see you. Ancestors, clarify. Five of Pentacles, what do we need to know about the Five of Pentacles? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Hey, Tiffany, good to see you. Mm-hmm. Some of us are going to be confronted with people from our past. And these are not good people from our past. I'm just going to be honest. These are people who have stolen your peace, who may have verbally and emotionally abused or manipulated you. They're coming back up, and they may be coming back up in the sense that they are trying to reattach themselves to you. They may be coming back up in through the energy of people who don't know that you don't fuck with those people anymore, right? People who are coming up and saying, "Did you know this person was this way?" Right? It doesn't matter how much that person hurt you; they no longer have control over you. I'm going to repeat: it doesn't matter how much that person may have hurt you in the past. That is your past, and in this present moment, in terms of where you are and who you are, these persons, these people, this person has no control over you in this moment, okay? Seven of Swords, the Thief card, manipulation. Literally in Millennial Tarot, it's the card of acting shady, right? These were people who betrayed you either overtly because that they thought that's what gave them power, or people who were, you ever heard of that phrase, throw a rock and hide your hand, hit and hide your hand? These may have been people in your life who were showing up that way, right? False friends, people who smile in your face but don't say the things in rooms where you are not present. The dialogue is different, right? And they're coming back up because sometimes people don't want to see you emotionally happy. They don't want to see you emotionally confident. In fact, that ability to shift your behavior and bring you out of your self-esteem was the only form of power that they truly had. Some people are so miserable that the only way that they can feel powerful is by making other people feel poorly. That phrase, misery loves company, exists for a reason, right? This is not a time to throw away all the progress you've made in terms of getting to a place where you feel emotionally confident. In fact, you've worked hard to silence all the narrative, all the noise created by these exchanges and get to a point where you are emotionally happy, emotionally confident, able to stand in who you are, moving with freedom, confidence, love, self-love, and independence, right? You've done a lot of hard work to get here. So it's really important that you not allow this person's attempts at reattaching these cords, at reconnecting with you, to work, right? Being able to see and discern between your actual lived reality and the emotional triggers and difficulty that's coming up is going to be extremely important this week, right? That is that Page of Cups energy. Yes, you are a dreamer and you're a sensitive person with a big imagination, but make sure that you see where you are in terms of the actual reality. Don't submit to escapism, whether it's positive escapism, where you want to believe that this person has changed, or it's negative escapism, where you believe that you are still the same version of yourself, that the person may have kicked around, right? May have abused, may have manipulated, right? Why is all of this coming up? Well, we are in the first few days of spring. This is the spring equinox, right? And if you've been listening to me at all over the last few years, you know that your environment shapes your reality. Five of Pentacles. And if you are around a whole bunch of lack mentality, poverty-minded people, that will set you up for a spring and a season of dryness, of being barren, of not being able to bear fruit, right? And we don't have time for that. We don't have time for Five of Pentacles energy. We don't have time to be surrounded by people who want to keep us in the same miserable energy, poverty mentality that they struggle with, right? Another reason why this is coming up in this moment is because it is a test. Can you pivot? Can you engage in new strategies? Or are you a person that defaults to old habits, patterns, and ways of being? Five of Swords comes up to say, hey, this is not a time to fall into strategies that victimize us. We have too much to get done, right? Don't struggle in this battle when we are trying to win the war. Really pour into yourself. Make sure that your emotions are balanced, that your cup is full, that your needs are met, because that would be the only way that this Seven of Swords person could even wiggle their way back into your life, right? They're literally hoping that there is some sort of deficit, some sort of confusion, some sort of hole that they can promise to come in and fill so that they can keep you stagnated in this Five of Pentacles energy. Focus on the people that actually pour into you. Knight of Cups. Pay attention to your actual allies, the people who nurture you, the people who have gifts to offer you, the people who are here to support you, right? That Knight of Cups energy of offering love and support, of wanting to see a person win because you love them so much. If you spend your time focusing on these people, the Seven of Swords folks can't even make their way into your environment, right? It's really important. We end with the Page of Swords, right? And this Page of Swords is under the Page of Cups. So there are two big lessons we got to really confront this week and really see whether or not we've actually learned them. The first, seeing our actual reality for what it is, right? And I've said this before, some of us have come really far and we don't understand how far we've come. But that doesn't mean that the people who are surveilling you, who are gossiping about you, the people who are tapping into folks to try to get reports back, that doesn't mean that they aren't aware of how good you're doing and how far you've come. So that's another reason why it's really important to be able to understand your reality, right? Being emotionally in tune, yes, while also being rooted in reality. But the other thing, the Page of Swords, be careful what information you share with people, right? Learning about how to use your tongue to heal and protect versus using your tongue to create harm. And one of the things about the Page of Swords is that they forget, yeah, they're the honor student and they're really smart, but they're really dependent on external validation. And so sometimes they can get so wrapped up in the understanding that everybody is going to give them accolades that they overshare and they tell their business to the wrong people. And that's why I love that in Millennial Tarot, this is the card of the therapist, right? The teletherapist. Instead of telling everybody your feelings and letting them know how to get to you, talk to your therapist, talk to your priestess, talk to your life coach, talk to the trusted people in your life, right? But overall, the general message for this week is do not be surprised if people from the past pop up, right? And these are specifically people who low-key meant to do you harm, whether they were overt about it, whether it was some fake friend, smile in your face, stab you behind the back energy, which is what the Seven of Swords represents, right? You fought too hard to get to this place of emotional confidence. So do not fall into traps. Do not feel like you have to engage with these people. If folks are popping up out of nowhere that you haven't talked to in forever and asking you about this person, they were probably sent. So give them very little information. Give them less than what they need to know, right? Because you got to protect you. You have to protect your emotional clarity, right? Again, it's spring season. We're planting seeds. We're really thinking about where we want to be 90 days from now, right? How we want to be positioned, how we want to feel as we enter into summer. And the last thing you need to do is set yourself up to be in a position where these energy vampires, because that's another thing that Seven of Swords represents, right? Energy vampires who thought that they were harming you by disposing of you or throwing you away, are now realizing that they actually made your life better, right? Queen of Cups, or Queen of Wands, rather, right? Don't let them have more access than they need. Make sure that your cup is full. Make sure that your needs are taken care of so that you don't find yourself over-talking, oversharing to the wrong people in an effort to get external validation. Pay attention to the people who have been around, who've been pouring into you, who've been creating space for you, that have allowed you to get to this space of being emotionally confident, emotionally secure, right? You maintain your emotional confidence not by going back into the past, not by allowing people from the past to pop back up with false claims of having changed. They haven't. They just want to have tabs on you. That's how energy vampires work. They pop up out of nowhere, either through their own energy or through the energy of other people, to data collect and to see how they can fuck up what you got going on, right? Think of the exes that come up out of nowhere. Never treated you well, but now they want to pop up just because they see you got a little bit of motion. Don't open up the doors. Don't open up the space. Keep your motion by focusing on yourself, continuing to fill your own cup, and also being reciprocal with the people who have helped you get back to a space of balance. Okay? That is the general reading for the week. I hope that fell on the ears of whoever needed to hear it. Let's look at money next. I usually do money later, but Spirit is saying start with money, so I'm going to listen. Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits of walk with you, elevated ancestors. What wisdom do we as a collective need about our relationship with money, the energy and the flow of money and expansion in our lives during the week of March 23rd through the 29th? Who do we need to be and what do we need to see about ourselves, our habits, and our environment that is impacting, whether positively or negatively, our relationship with money? How will it shift, change, or grow over these next 7 to 10 days? If there's anything that we don't see clearly that needs to be illuminated, please shed light on it now so that we know how to best prepare and protect ourselves. All right. I posted that on Facebook. What did you post, Nicole? Let me know. I only partially remember what I'm saying in the reading, so if I said something that resonated, first of all, that's dope, because if you posted it on Facebook or if you were just having that conversation with someone in your life recently, that means that what I was talking about is accurate because there's a synchronicity there, right? So let me know what it is that you posted on Facebook recently. That'll end up being really helpful for me. What you water grows. What you water grows. Ancestors, clarify the Three of Swords. What do we need to know about the Three of Swords? Pour into those that pour into you. Absolutely. Pour into those that nurture you. Absolutely. And it's funny because even though it came up in the general reading, it's coming up in the financial reading too. If you're not seeing the financial progress you want to make, it's because rather than, Jesus Lord, okay. I love my new nails, but they've got trinkets on them and the trinkets keep getting in my hair, which is why I typically try to avoid trinkets and things when I get my nails done, but I'll show you guys the design in a little bit. I just thought it was really pretty. when I say what you water grows, I mean what you pay attention to, what you put your energy into, your efforts into. That is what expands in your life, right? And for some of us, we are not seeing progress financially because we are so focused on what's not working, the bills that scare us, the things we have a false fear or belief that we won't attain, that we're not moving forward, right? If you sit around and tell yourself all day, every day that home ownership is out of reach, I'm not going to ever own a home, guess what's going to happen? You're never going to earn a home, right? If you tell yourself, less than 10% of the population has six figures saved, so why would I believe that I can do it? Of course, you'll never be able to have six figures saved, right? So this is really important this week, making sure that your mindset is not keeping you stuck in poverty, specifically around beat up, around things that you didn't know from the past, right? If you didn't know something, okay, you didn't know that you needed to do it. Now that you have that information, you are equipped with wisdom. Move in that wisdom, not in your worry, okay? Seven of Wands. It is time that you elevate beyond the very basic bitch conversations that you keep having about money. I'm sorry that I'm saying it that way, but I don't know any other way to say it, right? Seven of Wands is an energy that when we are trying to elevate, people are knocking us at our feet, trying to knock us off of balance. So we have to unapologetically rise above the distraction and focus on our elevation, where we're going, being able to ride the wave of new opportunities coming to us, right? Some of you all, and this is very similar to what I was talking about with the Five of Pentacles from the last spread, some of you all are not able to advance financially or have the relationship with your money that you want to have because you keep having poverty-based conversations with people around you. And you think that it's just venting. But some of that may be purposeful, right? If you're around people that the second you get a raise or a promotion, people are like, oh yeah, well that ain't gonna do nothing in this economy. I had a friend that was like that. I remember I got really excited. This is when I was still in the working world, and I had gotten a raise at work. And I made the fatal mistake of saying the exact number to her. I shouldn't have did that. Not only did she not congratulate me for the raise, in the next phone call, that don't even mean nothing because that ain't no fucking good salary. I mean, in California, if you're not making at least the mid six figures, you're still poor. She made less than me, but shat on the increase I received, right? Stop doing that. Stop putting yourself in a position where the people who are trying to knock your confidence down have access to information. You should be rising so far above them that you don't even really hear what they have to say. When it comes to your finances and your financial decisions this week, Hermit energy, are you moving from the wisdom of your inner spirit? This may be a time where you need to disconnect from conversations about money with other people and get clear on who you are and what you want. Because in this confusion, you will find yourself getting distracted, running after things that aren't in alignment with what you want, and it's taking you further and further away from your purpose. Virgo energy of the Hermit. Get very, very clear and discerning about what you need for your individual path, right? This is not a week where you need to be talking to everybody about money. And trust me, if you do find yourself telling everybody your business, telling everybody your financial goals, running at the mouth about things instead of taking time to get centered, get connected with you and your inner spirit and get clarity about what it is that you need to do, it will only lead to heartbreak. Heartbreak. That, yeah, you can learn lessons from that, but it's still avoidable. Heartbreak that distracts you from the downloads and the wisdom that Spirit is trying to give you so that you can have a new start, and will put you in a mindset of scarcity, of clinging to your coins, of fear that makes you feel like you have less than you actually do. Okay? So, yeah, this is not a week where you need to be talking to everybody about money. People will talk to you in a way where it seems like they're trying to give you advice. Again, Seven of Wands, they'll talk to you like they're trying to bring you to reality or give you advice, but all they're doing is really feeding your financial fears. Feeding your financial fears in a way that makes you feel imprisoned, right? In a way that just makes you move in much more restriction, makes you fearful about taking risks, right? I love this next card, and I love that it's coming under the Hermit, because this is a really important energy, right? King of Swords on his throne in a cloud. Everybody can't even get to him like that. So of course everybody's not going to know his business. And why don't they know his business? Because he knows what the fuck he needs to do. He's literally the king of strategy. He is the king of building empires. You know what you need to do with your money in order to make progress. Believe and trust your program and move strategically within that. King of Swords doesn't really ask a whole bunch of people what their opinion is about his strategy. Outside of his wife, the Queen of Swords, he may have one or two other trusted council members, right? Think of Game of Thrones. He may go to the hand of the king and his wife, and that's it. Move strategically towards what it is you need to do, and stop letting people put doubt into your mind under the guise of advice, because a lot of that advice is mostly to bring you down to size and to make you fearful about going after what you need to do. Yep, I just had a conversation with a friend who was asking a bunch of money questions out of nowhere. Be careful about that. Be really, really careful about that, okay? When people just start asking questions that they know they ain't got no business, the intentions are not always the greatest, right? Now, here's the thing. Why is this coming up now in terms of your relationship to money? For a lot of us, this is a lesson we have to learn, right? The Page of Pentacles being the card of the apprentice, the card of the personal trainer. This is a muscle that you need to exercise, right? Some of you guys, it's not that you don't make enough money. It's not that there isn't enough opportunity around you. There are energetic leaks in your life around money and finances because you over-explain to the wrong people and you take advice from the wrong people, right? You guys have heard me say this before. I had a friend that used to sit around and tell me that I wasn't shit because I didn't own property or I didn't own my own home. And this was a grown man in his mid-30s who had been couch surfing for literal years. And the first few times that he said it to me, it really hurt my feelings, right? Because I want to own property. That's a goal of mine, right? And then somewhere around the third or fourth time of them tapping on that nerve to hurt my feelings, I realized, like, why the fuck am I letting this person hurt my feelings? It was a Seven of Wands thing. It was them trying to cut me down to size. It was them seeing getting closer to a financial goal that would have made them feel smaller, right? Money is energy. It is energy. And so the energy we hold money in, the conversations around money that we allow ourselves to have, the access to knowledge around our relationship to money that we give people insight into, all of those things can create energetic leaks if we are not careful. So this week is a week. I want to focus on this Hermit card and I want to focus on this King of Swords. This is a week where we got to get really clear about what it is that we're supposed to be doing and whether or not that's in alignment with our inner spirit. And we have to be so confident and so strategic that we don't feel the desperation and the need to give validation from other people. Because when we open ourselves up to that need for financial validation, does this person think I have enough? Do they think I'm making the right decisions? That's when we open ourselves up to people trying to attack us in a way where they cut us down to size. And then we end up spiraling in fear-based thoughts that make it hard for us to move forward and stay in action. Okay? Again, this is a muscle we are learning to exercise. This is something that we are learning to do. Page of Pentacles, the Apprentice. This is a lesson we need to learn through practice. Okay? So that is the money reading for this week. Let's do health and wellness, and then we'll wrap up with love, okay? Yeah, Nicole, you would be... I'm so glad that person's not in my life anymore, because there were so many areas of life where they were always constantly trying to plant insecurity into me. And because I am a Taurus and we can accidentally be loyal to the wrong people, I kept gaslighting myself into believing that they didn't know any better. And it took distance and separation and conversations with my therapist to realize that, no, they knew. They knew exactly what they were doing, right? Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits to walk with me, my elevated ancestors. What wisdom do we as a collective need at this time about our holistic health and wellness? What are the choices we need to make, the actions we need to take to have a good balance of mind, body, and spirit during the week of March 23rd through the 29th? Highlight any habits that need to be sustained, released, or increased that will bring us good balance of mind, body, and soul. Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Some of us are really, really tired, even though spring is here and there's a renewal of energy and, you know, the brightness of the sun and all that bullshit. Some of us are still exhausted. There's an energy around being worn thin that spills over from the winter. And we're in this interesting conundrum where even though we're tired and our energy is low, clarify the Nine of Wands. The only thing that is going to increase our energy is forcing ourselves to get out and take on physical movement, even though we're tired, right? So yeah, you're tired. Yeah, you're worn out. Yeah, you're drained. Wake yourself up at 6 a.m. to go to the gym or take that run or that walk anyway, right? Do it anyway. Do it tired, do it scared, strength card, right? This strength card is both literal and theoretical, or I don't know if theoretical is the right word. What are you saying, Mambo? Get it out. The strength card is, again, it's integrity of word. It's do it scared, right? What makes a person a strong person is the ability to do the things that they know they need to do, even when they're scared or even when they don't want to. It's about the integrity of action, right? So some of you guys know that you need to move your body more. You need to take your walks. You need to do your cardio, right? Do it anyway. And here's the thing. We know we're tired, like wounded warrior energy. Very stretched thin, on edge, right? We're very exhausted. But the reality is you're not going to build your strength back up unless you force yourself to do the things you need to do, even though you're tired, right? So it's about the integrity to be committed to your physical routines, but it's also about, well, that's what I mean when I say it's literal. It's literally about building your strength. You're exhausted, but the only way that you're going to build that strength up is through forcing through the exhaustion. Hermit energy. This is a time, Virgos are really good at reviewing their health routines. Virgos tend to be borderline a little obsessive about their health routines, right? That's why in debilitation, they can be hypochondriacs, low key. So have that Virgo discipline to really look over and find your health habits and be real with yourself. I'm tired because I'm not getting good sleep. I'm tired because I'm not exercising. I'm tired because I'm not getting enough protein. Whatever it is that's leading to this exhaustion, it's only going to change through reflecting over the habit and moving through the reality of what you need to do and not your emotional escapism, right? Page of Cups energy, with them being the child of the big imagination, the dreamer, they can just get wrapped up in the fantasy of things and what it is they want to do, right? So you can tell yourself like, oh, well, if I just, hang out and, lay under the blanket and eat the gummy worms, that'll restore my energy. No, the fuck it won't. It's going to drain your energy, right? That's escapism. So yeah, this is about you. The only way you're going to combat the exhaustion is to get really deliberate about your routines and move beyond the pleasure seeking of escapism, right? Hierophant energy, what are your routines? What is your discipline? Not just your spiritual discipline, but what are the habits, right? What are you learning about your habits? Because that's another element of the Hierophant, with it being a card of rites of passage, right? Some of you guys have recently had babies, and so you're trying to figure out what your routine after giving birth looks like. So this is a rite of passage. What does it look like to take care of myself now that I've bore children? Some of y'all are perimenopausal, right? And so your health routines and what you could have coaxed through in your 20s and 30s are not going to help you in these late 30s going into the 40s, right? Hierophant is here to say, okay, what is the reflection? What is the discipline I need to get into? And how is it reflective of this new aspect of my life or this new chapter that I'm in, right? It's really important. We have the Hermit clarifying the Nine of Wands. Another reason why a lot of y'all are exhausted is because you're trying to do any and everything by yourself and you weren't meant to. And that's why this Ten of Cups is here. Two messages. Some of you guys need to literally tag in family and friends for your workouts. You're not going on your walks because you don't want to walk alone. You know that your sister will go for the walk by the lake with you. So ask her to, right? But also, again, this is also more emotional is what I'm getting from it, right? Some of you guys, it's been too long since you've talked to the people that you know pour into you. You should be creating memories. And a lot of the nervousness and the agitation you have is because you're not spending enough time with your fictive kin, your chosen family, the people that you're close to, right? So what are the memories that you're creating, right? That hike may be a lot more memorable if you take it with your baby sister, as opposed to you just pushing yourself through it in a way where it feels like burden, right? So give yourself permission to really lean into the people around you who nurture you and see this as an opportunity to create memories instead of just a thing that is a burden, right? If you were working 15 hours a day this past week, that is crazy. And I need you to stop. I am obsessive and protective about my routines and needs. That's a good thing. That's actually a really good thing. Because when we are not protective about our routines, we can spiral into, it's like we can lose track of our care, right? I love also that the Knight of Wands is coming up, and it's coming up after the Ten of Cups. Some of you guys are not taking good care of yourself because you see it as burden and not as pleasure. And the Knight of Wands is very much a card about having fun, right? That Aries energy. Aries want everything to feel like a party. They want things to feel good, right? That's a huge part of what gives them that rush and that ability to run into things and handle stuff, being an initiator, right? So how can you alter your health routines so that they feel more fun for you, right? I've started doing this. I know that there's a particular market I like to go to. And yeah, it's out of the way, but I like going there because it's fun and the shit is cheap. So even though it's I'm a tourist, I like cheap things. So if I get to go to the market that I like and I get, the bok choy and the asparagus and the things at a cheaper price, I actually feel more motivated and excited to cook it and actually consume it. And that keeps me from, eating canned foods and frozen shit, right? How can you make your health fun for you? How can you bring a spirit of excitement and pleasure to it so that you actually follow through with taking care of yourself in the ways that you need? And for some of us, this comes through tagging in our family and our friends, right? Again, you're more likely to do the hike if you have people that you can gossip and play with while you do the hike instead of doing it on your own, right? But also remembering that this is about reciprocity. This is about keeping your cup full. This is about making sure that you feel nurtured. And a huge part of the reason why some of y'all, and I'll say us because I feel like this is me being hit and I don't like it. Huge part of the reason why some of us are having a hard time with pouring into ourselves is because we don't want to feel like a burden. And we need the support of other people who are going to also pour into us, right? So the people that love you want to see you healthy and they want to see you happy. So of course, if you ask them to go do something with you, they're going to do it. And it'll also benefit them, right? That's the nature of Two of Cups. I'm pouring into you, you're pouring into me. This is mutual benefit, which is the nature of reciprocity. So these family members or community members or friends that you think you're bothering or burdening, you're actually not. And it's actually going to make them feel taken care of and nurtured, right? Pull it outside of, yes, lean into the hermit energy in order to reflect over what's not working, right? And what needs to be fed, right? That evaluation. But don't feel like you're not around people who also can't benefit from these shifts and this increase in a focus on health, right? Now, Taurus love luxury and the fine things. Okay, we do, but I promise you, Tauruses love luxury and the fine things, but we're also cheap, right? We're the girl that wants diamonds on the hookup, right? We're the ones that we want the first class flight, but we want to pay for it in points. So yeah, we love fine things, but we also love a bargain. That's the conundrum of Taurus. I would never lie and act like we don't like the finer things. We absolutely do. But if we can get them on a discount, that makes them feel even more beautiful. That makes them feel even more pleasurable. I hope that makes sense. Pure heart, absolutely. When it's time for questions from the audience, you most definitely can. I do need to get through the love reading. And then after we're done with the love reading, I'll do updates and then I'll start taking questions from the audience, okay? So pure heart, hold on to your question so that when it is time for questions from the audience, you can repost it, okay? Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits that walk with me, my elevated ancestors. What wisdom do we as a collective need about love, romance, and matters of the heart over the next week, the week of March 23rd through the 29th? Who do we need to be and what do we need to see about ourselves, our habits, and our environments that will allow us to have the experiences of love and be loved by those we want to feel nurtured by in the ways we want over the next 7 to 10 days? If there are any blind spots, difficulties, challenges, or blessings in this area of life, highlight and illuminate them for us now so that we know how to navigate that energy what we need to do to prepare and protect ourselves. Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Dulcinea, smart, strategic. Yeah, so I used to have a really big handbag collection. It's still fly. It's not as big as it used to be. It used to be much larger. But a huge part of how I got into handbags was discovering discount codes and secret buyers, secret shoppers, and things like that. I don't believe in paying. I love luxury, but I don't believe in paying full price for it. I've literally never paid full price for a handbag. I don't do it. But that's a very Taurus thing. We love nice things, but we love the discount that comes with the nice thing. Okay. Oh, Lord. Okay, so remember in the general reading where I said people from the past are showing up? That is definitely related to love and romance. Clarify Seven of Swords. Clarify the Seven of Swords. So there's some synchronicity between the general reading and the love reading. They're still around, Chantel. If you ever want me to put you up on game, let me know. Let's see. Yeah. Just because you may not be having the experience of romance that you want to have doesn't mean that you pay attention to the ex that pops back up. That is a form of self-sabotage. We don't have time for self-sabotage, okay? If a person didn't get it right the first time, the likelihood that they will get it right a second time is not very high. And low key, and I had to learn this the hard way, when exes pop back up, it's not because they've changed. It's not because they're hearing you out and they want an opportunity to do better. These motherfuckers pop back up because they want to see if they still got motion. That's it. They want to see if they still got motion, if they can still get access to you. So that is why we have the Seven of Swords, manipulation, acting shady, the Thief card, being clarified by the Seven of Cups. This person coming back into your life has the potential to bring a lot of emotional confusion that will take you off of your path and distract you from the good shit you already got going on. They will just energy suck and energy vampire you in a way that will leave you drained, that wounded warrior energy. Don't do that shit. This is why the Queen of Swords is so unfuckwittable, right? The difference between learning from your pains and using that as wisdom to protect yourself and just being embittered, right? So use the wisdom that you gained from that experience of that past lover, that unrequited love, that on again off, whatever this is, right? Use that wisdom to protect yourself, okay? Because realistically, some of you guys either are currently being courted by or will soon be courted by somebody who actually has the capacity to love and nurture you the way that you need, right? King of Cups, the compassionate leader, somebody who's lived but who is loving, right? You either already have that or that person is just around the corner. And that's why this Seven of Cups is clarifying the Seven of Swords. The last thing you want to do is make an emotionally undeclared decision now that distracts you and wastes 90 days, 9 weeks, 9 months of your time when you could have been using it to really focus on and invest in this person that is actually capable of loving you and nurturing you in a way where they are healthy and balanced and their healthy, balanced energy helps you stay healthy and balanced, right? This is not a time to get distracted by the person who fucked you over, who messed with your nervous system. Let them show back up with nothing but dick, donuts, and confusion. I had an elder that used to say that some men have nothing to offer but dick and donuts. And I should have, she's no longer with us. I should have asked her, why dick and donuts? Why dick and donuts? But that's neither here nor there. Don't get distracted by the person who has nothing to offer but dick and donuts, right? Because that is time that you can be spending connecting with this person who actually has emotional maturity and emotional regulation, right? And the only reason why you're considering even paying attention to this person that's popping back up is because there's not just a weakness within you, but you want to believe that you're strong enough to handle whatever bullshit they bought you. That is not strength, right? We got to let go of the struggle of understanding that strength is the ability to handle people's abuse and dysfunction with grace. No, it's not. It's absolutely not. Strength is knowing what you have to do and doing it anyway. Strength is having the integrity to do what you need to do, not what you want to do. And if you feel a longing to even reconnect with this person or give them space, you really got to ask yourself why, right? Definitely just ask myself, girl, why? I still, and I keep saying it. I've inherited this stupid phrase, and I don't know why dick and donuts? What if I don't like donuts? Why are they showing up with donuts? Back to the subject at hand. It's karma. And when I say it's karma, I mean it's karmic in its energy, right? Think about a karmic astrologically. Somebody that's here to teach you a lesson, right? And this habit of self-betrayal in your love life may be karmic. So the justice card is coming up to say, take justice in your own hands. Really ask yourself what you want to have. Do you want to experience the same thing over and over again, right? Or do you want to have a different experience? This is your opportunity to really dictate your experience of love. And you do not have a good love experience by going back into the past and reliving what hurt you. It's not going to be good, right? So take charge, take justice into your hands, move differently. And again, if you even feel a desire to hear this person out, or that's what I was trying to say earlier, to get closure, because that's some bullshit. You don't need a person to get closure, right? That's a lie we tell ourselves because we feel like we have unfinished business with a person. If you feel like you need to get closure or you need to prove something to this person still, rather than setting yourself up for failure by letting them have access to you, be real with yourself and be honest about the fact that that's a shadow. What is going on in terms of your shadows? What needs to be nurtured and addressed that even makes you feel this pull and this tug to go back to what hurt you and harmed you? Okay? So to summarize the love reading, ignore that motherfucker's call. Do not listen to them. Do not let them talk you into going to lunch. When people start telling you, oh, I saw such and such, and they had to say, ignore that shit. Because this is a distraction. It's just a distraction. And rather than losing a couple of months of peace, heal yourself. Really look at the shadow that's being triggered that is even making you consider it in the first place, and heal that so that you can have space to focus on this reciprocal love that's either here and trying to keep your attention, or that's right around the corner, okay? So that is the love reading for this week. I will now take questions from the audience. Go ahead and type out your questions in the comments. You can send your love offerings to my Cash App or my PayPal. Both are scrolling below. I do request a minimum love offering of 1111. If you don't have 1111, then that's okay. Send what you can. If you can send more and you feel generous, that's appreciated as well. But if you have a question, please send a love offering. Don't just ask questions without giving. Please consider equal exchange, okay? I'm also offering the Equinox 3-card reading that I offered on Thursday because I know everyone wasn't able to attend happy hour. So if you would like to know what message the spring or what area of life your spirits would want you to focus on for the spring equinox, if you would like to know the seed that you should plant, the way you need to nurture it, and what will be birthed by summer through nurturing that seed, go ahead and get a spring equinox reading. I'm happy to answer that for you, okay? While you are submitting your love offerings or answering your questions, I'm going to go ahead and update you on a few things, okay? The St. Patrick's Day discount code expires tonight at midnight, LUCK. So if you cannot book a reading by then, I don't know what to tell you. The next sale will be taking place in a couple of weeks, so just keep your eye out for that. But even after the discount code is expired, the Ancestral Life Path readings, the Pathway Activation sessions, and the what's the other one? I have 3 readings that are on sale for $85. I don't remember what they all are, but you can go to my website and check them out. So there are some discounted specialty readings available, even if you don't get an opportunity to access the sale code. There are 5 days left to sign up for the Pathways to Power Road opening ritual. So if you know you have roads that you want to open up in your life, opportunities you want to call in, patterns and habits that you keep reliving and that you know are causing obstacles and delays for you, then go ahead and participate in the Pathways to Power ritual. That is a ritual that I am collaborating with Kodan for. She is a road opening expert. I've learned a tremendous amount from her about road opening work, so I'm deeply excited to be working in collaboration with her. I also encourage you, and I will repost in the Sacred Roots Facebook group our info session we did a couple of weeks ago about road opening work. It was really fun. We structured it as a happy hour session. We basically talked about celebrities we thought could benefit from doing road opening work, and we used that as an opportunity to educate the audience about road opening work. So watch that if you are new to the concept of road opening work and you want to learn a little bit more about it. If you would like to get a reading with me to see if you could benefit from road opening work, that is what the Pathways activation session is for. So that is not a reading that I'm going to offer all the time. I will only be offering it, and again, I don't even know if we're going to be offering the road opening rituals in the future. I want Kodan to dictate that because she's the leader of it. But this is not a reading that's going to be on my website constantly. So the Pathways activation session will be available until March 31st. Then I will take it down. And then if we do any road opening rituals in the future, I will put it back up. Okay. What else? Rich Spirit, May 4th through 7th. So we have Pathways to Power that's happening March 30th through April 3rd. And then if you specifically want a prosperity ritual, Rich Spirit will be happening the first week of May. Okay? The link to both of those are below. So make sure you click on the intake groups to learn more about them. Okay? I am still doing interviews for Charm School. If anybody is interested in joining my Hoodoo mentorship program, click the link to the intake group below so that we can get you scheduled for an interview. If you know you would like to do mentorship, but you can't commit to live weekly in-person sessions, I also have a self-paced mentorship program where you get several classes a month and you can participate at your own pace and complete your assignments at your own pace. To learn more about that, join the Charm School intake group And then you can find information about Study Hall, which is my self-paced program there. Okay. So those are all of the updates. I see that Pure Heart has not posted her question. So I don't know if she's still here, still wants her question answered. Pure Heart, if you are here, put your question in the comments. Send your love offering to my Cash App or my PayPal. There is a suggested minimum, but if you don't have enough for the suggested minimum, that is fine. Send what you can, but exchange is required, okay? Tiffany says, I needed to hear that because my loneliness lately been having me think about situation. Yeah. That is the worst thing you can do. That is the worst thing you can do. And I'm not saying it from a place of judgment. I'm saying it because I lived it. When you pray for God to remove a situation from your life and you go back to it, it energetically, I'll say this, that motherfucker will make you feel like you're being punished. And that's because of the energy of it, right? This is a conversation I have a lot with clients. I've had clients ask me to hex people that have hurt them romantically, only to turn around and go back to sleeping with the person, right? It's a thing that people don't stop and think about. But you got to be careful because it's actually really, really fucking dangerous, right? So don't let that happen to you, girl. It's not worth it. What messages do my ancestors have on a work trip I'll be taking to New York? First of all, congratulations. New York is one of my favorite cities. So we will start with Dulcinia's question. If anyone else has questions, let me look over the Cash App so I can see if anyone has submitted. Nicole, thank you for your offering. If you have a question, just go ahead and post it, and then I'll get to you after I'm done with Dulcinea. I've been thinking lately if I need to do road opening. I think you would benefit from road opening. Road opening is helpful. It can help with a lot of things. It's not just about calling in opportunity, and that's one of the things that, Kodan highlighted, right? If you have blockages within you in terms of behaviors, in terms of deficits you need to remove, road opening can be very powerful for that. So I think you should join, Sinidra. I think you should really consider it. All right. Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits that walk with me. My elevated ancestors. What wisdom does Dulcinea need about her trip to New York? This will be her first time visiting New York, but this is also a work trip. So what does she need to know? How does she need to prepare herself? Is there anything she needs to be mindful of and protect herself from? Any was shared is deeply appreciated. Thank you, Nicole. I appreciate your generosity. Again, if anyone has a question, go ahead and send your love offering and type your question below. If you would like the spring equinox reading because you were not able to get it on Thursday, send in your love offering and then just put the word spring equinox in the comments, and I will answer your question after I'm done with Dulcinea, okay? Lover's card. Two messages I'm getting through the Lover's card, especially because right after the Lover's card, we have the Ace of Cups. If a flirtation happens while you're there, let it. Don't fight it. Just let it go. Let it happen. I think you're going to fuck with New York heavy. I think you're going to vibe with the energy of that environment really, really heavily because Lover's card is Gemini energy. So I see an energetic alignment. I feel like you're going to feel seen and comfortable in that environment in a way that ends up being really, really healing for you. And that is confirmed through the Ace of Cups, reciprocity, open heart chakra. Be open to the conversations and the connections that pop up in this environment, okay? I know you're probably sick of me saying this sentence to you, but you're a Virgo. Because I always say it like you don't know that about yourself, but you're a Virgo. Virgos can be really guarded, right? Virgos can also believe that they know everything, unfortunately, right? So just be careful. Let your heart be open. Try not to struggle with trust in this environment. Again, because I think energetically you're going to feel really connected, but only if you allow yourself to, right? Um, New York is an expensive city. Be careful about overspending. Just be careful, right? The last thing you want to do is get there. And it can be easy to feel like you want to do any and everything. Be careful because you can get wrapped up in the energy and the pleasure of it and then end up feeling like you're on a little bit of a financial tightrope when you come home. So mind your money. Also, don't be surprised if you are, because Two of Pentacles is also multiple streams of income. Don't be surprised if this trip results in some sort of new job or some new collaboration for you in the future. But that's what I see. I'm excited about that for you. Love that for you. And I can't wait to hear more about how you feel about New York, what you experience while you're in New York. Okay? Any other questions? Any other questions? I see, Tiffany, you sent a love offering. What is your question? I'm gonna hang on for you to put a question in the chat, Tiffany. And let me see who else. Josette, do you just want a general reading? Okay, I got you, Josette. I'll do Josette next, and then I'll do Tiffany. And I don't think that Josette has a comment, so I'm just gonna have to challenge myself to remember. Okay, we'll do Josette, who just wants a general reading, and then we'll do Tiffany next. Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits that walk with me, my elevated ancestors. What wisdom does Josette need from her ancestors and the spirits that walk with her at this time? What information do they want to bring to her attention? Do they have any urgent messages for her? Or just any wisdom that they want to pour into her? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Pure Heart, are you still here? If so, let me know. Two things. If you find yourself, Josette, sleeping more than normal, don't shame yourself around it. Don't you need to sleep, damn it. You need rest, right? Like this energy around deep recuperation and recovery is coming up, right? And I think with the spring energy, people have a busybody curiosity because the sun is coming out, things are getting hotter. But if you still feel sleepy or worn out after winter, give your body the rest that it needs, okay, Josette? I see that spring is going to be really beautiful for you, a lot of connection. Ten of Cups, right? Not only will you be reconnecting with a lot of family and chosen family or fictive kin, but I think your fictive kin community is also going to expand. I think that, and it's not just spring. I'm getting the next 6 months of your life is going to be a lot about building memories with people that you feel loved and held and nurtured by. And that's a huge part of the reason why it's not just because you're tired, but it's like Spirit wants you to rest now so that you are energetically ready for a lot of the busyness of the memory making and the merriment that's going to be coming into your life. Okay. We have the Death card, and that could be another reason why your body needs a lot of sleep, right? I think you're going through you're going through a personal change and a shift and a transformation that you're not even fully aware of, right? Where a lot of your old habits are dying and literally giving birth to a new version of yourself. But it's a very subtle transformation. I think people assume that the death card has to be like this big dramatic thing. No, it's not always. Like it can just be as simple as you are showing up in the world a little bit more confidently and smoothly than you have in the past, right? But one thing about a death card moment is that, even though we may not be aware of the changes we're going through, the body still keeps score, right? So to summarize all of this, your social life is about to pick up a lot, and it's going to be in a way that's really beautiful and nurturing. You're going to have a lot of memories that you create with friends and family this year. You are shifting and you are going through a personality change that is for the better. And you also just need to sleep. You need to sleep. You're not lazy. There's nothing wrong with you. Just let yourself rest. And they want me to say this too. Part of the reason why the rest is probably coming up is because there's wisdom that's coming. Again, going back to this death card, there's wisdom that's coming through your dreams. So that's another reason why they want you to be comfortable with sleeping, right? You can't get the message if you don't sleep, kind of thing. All right. I hope that was helpful. All right. We got Tiffany next. And if there's anyone else who wants a reading, submit your love offering, and then I'll take care of you after Tiffany. What messages or guidance do my ancestors want me to receive about navigating this season of isolation, loneliness, and feeling disconnected? Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits will walk with me. Tiffany has been feeling isolated, lonely, and disconnected. What wisdom does she need that will help her navigate this energy, that will help her pull herself out of this feeling? What does she need to know so that she can be reminded that this is temporary? If there's a lesson in this season, in these feelings, highlight it now so that she has the wisdom to navigate it. Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Pure Heart, if you are still here, put your question in the comments. I really hope you're not one of those people that is run off by the fact that I told you to send a love offering, especially because I told you you didn't have to send the minimum. Part of the reason why I made love offerings a requirement is because people would come in here and have me read week after week after week on the same nigga or the same job that they won't quit or whatever. People, you got to put an investment in order to take the wisdom seriously, right? And it's also just an energy exchange. I'm not asking for a lot. You probably spent more than $1 on something crazy today. So I want you to think about that. If you want spiritual wisdom, but you can't even cash up somebody $1, what does that say? Right? You guys got to get better about how you treat the people you seek spiritual guidance from. There are priestesses on this channel, on this YouTube, who have much bigger channels than mine, who won't even pull one card unless you send them $55. Y'all don't want to send me one. I want you to think about that, right? So, Tiffany, this is a time where you're meant to learn independence, right? And I know even as I said this word, it pissed you off because you're like, I'm tired of being independent. But it's not independent in, the financial way, I got this, I'm a boss bitch kind of way. It's independent in, I feel pleasure in my own skin kind of way, right? I'm comfortable with basking in the fruits of my labor. I'm comfortable with evaluating how far I've come, and I'm rooted in the joy around it. You low-key have made some big changes in your life, and I'm not going to repeat what they are. You talked about them here in the chat, but I'm not going to repeat it just because I don't like to do that to people. But just in the last month and a half, you've made some big changes, and you haven't even taken the time to celebrate those, right? So how are you celebrating yourself? How are you allowing yourself to feel nurtured by yourself? Because the thing, and I love that this card is coming up for you because this is a conversation that I try to have a lot with people when they purchase love readings with me. You got to get comfortable with you so that when love does show up, the love is showing up to somebody who is rooted and self-confident and happy. They're not showing up to somebody who is expecting them to find comfort and identity in them, right? So that's why this message is coming up. 8 of Wands. I don't know if you dance, but maybe consider joining a dance class. Consider joining some sort of physical activity that you do in a group environment. 2 reasons. 8 of Wands. If there's some sort of social environment that if you put yourself in it, connections, Cupid's arrows will happen very quickly and easily for you, right? Because 8 of Wands is new connections and meeting people very quickly and easily, right? But also, life is about to just pick up for you very naturally. And that's what Spirit wants you to understand. What you are experiencing as isolation is actually quiet before a storm, if that makes sense, Tiffany. So that's another reason why they really want you to get rooted and solid in who you are. Because once things pick up for you, you're going to have the opposite problem. You're going to feel like, damn, I ain't got no fucking time to myself. I'm tired, right? So they really want you to just nurture yourself and find pleasure in that. There's something about this time of being alone that you're punishing yourself for, rather than seeing it as an opportunity and a gift. And so again, the more you work on your confidence, the easier to be for you to have time alone, because you won't see it as a symptom of worthiness, right? That's why the King of Wands is coming up. King of Wands is a confident motherfucker, and they carry big dick energy, whether they're in a room with 2 other people or 200 other people, right? So yeah, you may not have a whole lot of people around you, but that doesn't mean anything about your worth or your worthiness. And so that they really want you to understand that. And what I'm getting here is that a huge part of the reason why you have this negative experience of this period of isolation is because you see it as, like, I don't want to say a punishment, but as some sort of symptom of your value. And that's the lesson you need to learn, is that it's not about your value, right? Card that fell out while I was shuffling, Ace of Cups. Work on your heart chakra. There's something going on with distrust, right? And that's one of the things that they want you to work on before this influx of people comes into your life through this 8 of Wands, right? Because again, if they bring you new friends, but you're on this energy of like, because I don't trust bitches, I don't trust females, then what's the purpose of having new friends, right? If they bring you a new lover, but you are on that Music Soul Child, previous cats, I'm not Ethan, Anthony, Even, or Steven, whatever the men's names mean, like, you know what I mean? Go push them away, right? So there's some stuff going on with trust, both in other people as well as self, that needs to be worked through so that when people show up in your life, you can connect with them, okay? Let me know if that resonated with you. Josette, I want the spring reading, please. Okay. I got you, Josette. I'm sorry. I thought you wanted a general reading, but I'll do your spring reading. And La Balin, I see that you sent a love offering as well. So if you have a question, let me know and I'll answer it for you, okay? Ancestors, angels, ascended master spirits to walk with me. Give us insight into what Josette needs to know about the spring equinox. What is the seed she should be planting at this time? How should she spend her time nourishing and nurturing the seed? And if she nurtures the seed, what will it allow her to give birth to by summer? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Definitely read my mind. I've been hard on myself, not seeing my value. Yeah, that, you know, those hermit moments have nothing to do with our value. They have everything to do with the wisdom that we're supposed to be accumulating during that time, right? That's literally what a hermitage is. Everybody who is trying to learn tarot, I really strongly encourage you to research what a hermitage is. A hermitage is when they would take a sage And they would basically source his education for him to go out into a cabin in the woods for a period of time, right? And he would just learn shit. He would literally just learn a whole bunch of shit. He would sharpen his wisdom in a very niche area of life. And while he was learning these things in this little cabin, people would come and visit him, and he would share his musings about what he learned. And then when he was done, he would just go back into the world, right? Hermitages are not permanent, and they're not punishment. They're meant to make you wise. So look at this time in your life as how is it feeding you in terms of wisdom, right? Whew. The seed you need to plant, Josette, is one of strength through authenticity, right? Is one in moving with the belief that you have all of the knowledge, all the strength, all the wisdom within you to meet any and every challenge head on, right? You're planting a seed of courage, and it's a seed of courage that's going to help you in terms of being able to knock down obstacles and challenges as you move through the future, right? The specific way that you nurture this seed of courage is literally by taking your challenges head on, by believing that you have the capacity. So 8 of Wands comes up a lot when we are a person who tells ourselves we're not ready for things, or this is happening too fast, right? 8 of Wands energy is hot and heavy. And it's an energy where the only way that you can navigate it is by riding the wave of opportunities when they come to you. So if you know that you are typically a person that will turn down opportunities, that will walk away from things because you feel like it's too quick, or you're not ready, or you're not enough, that's the seed you need to plant. You nurture it by taking on things, being in the moment, allowing yourself to not have all the answers, just to go. That Aries energy of, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I'm going to find out in the process of doing it, right? Which can be really scary, but it also awakens something in you. I love that the 8 of Wands is represented as the phoenix in this deck, right? Because the phoenix rises from the ashes, right? And a lot of times we gain strength, we rise from the ashes by doing things that we may not know, we may not understand, but by trusting ourselves to get it done, right? What will be birthed in you? What will grow by summer as a result of this? And I love this for you. It's been a long time since I've done a one-on-one reading for you, but I really feel like your spirits need you to hear this. You were fed the false belief in your childhood or as a younger version of yourself that you need to be perfect, that you need to have all the right answers, that if you are not doing something in a really particular way, that somehow that makes you a failure, right? And that's what, again, going back to why this 8 of Wands is coming up, that's why you feel like you shouldn't move on things if you don't have all the information or if you're not going to do it perfectly. And that's not true, right? Most people, I remember when I was in graduate school, I had an advisor that would always say, a perfect PhD is a completed PhD. And he would say that because there is no such thing as a perfect dissertation, right? The best dissertations are the ones that got done. And it's a lot of people who become what's called ABD, I'm one of them, all but dissertations, because they were so wrapped up in perfection that they never finished, right? So for you, with your equinox lesson is, I need to be brave enough to show up the way that I am, not wrapped up in perfection, just being my authentic self and still showing up with the courage that my authentic self is enough. You nurture that seed by showing up, taking on obstacles, not telling yourself that you're not ready to take risks, because that just becomes an excuse to avoid out of a fear of not being perfect. And that heals a false belief that's causing you to avoid things because you feel like you don't deserve them if you can't be perfect. perfect is not even a real thing. I want to throw up having a Virgo moon, even saying that. I struggle with that myself, right? But perfect is an illusion. And if you have this false belief and you're beating yourself up over an illusion, it's only going to stagnate you. Okay? So let me know if that message resonated with you. Labalin, you want a general reading? Okay, I'm just going to do a general reading. If you want the equinox reading, let me know. But I'm assuming you said it was a general, please. So I'm just going to do a general reading for you. And if there's anyone else that would like a reading, go ahead and send your love offering. Again, the suggested minimum is $11.11. If you are just completely strapped and you don't have $11, I low-key think you're lying, but that's fine. Send what you can. And if you are blessed enough to be in a position where you can send more, that's nice too. Just whatever you feel comfortable with, okay? Ancestors, angels, and master spirits that walk with me. My elevated ancestors. What wisdom does Labalin need from her ancestors and the spirits in her court at this time? If they have any wisdom, any warnings, any lessons, or blessings that they want to pour into her, please illuminate them in this reading so that she can receive this information. Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. And I hope you enjoy your vacation, Josette. I hope your vacation is full of relaxation and recovery. Clarify the Nine of Swords. What does Labalin need to know about the Nine of Swords? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. This is a really important period of observation in your life. I know, because Spirit is telling me, there's some sort of area of life where you have convinced yourself that busyness is the same thing as productivity, right? And that's not helping you. In fact, not only is it not helping you, it's causing you to repeat a particular cycle in your life that's bringing you displeasure, right? And it's causing you a loss of peace. Knight of Pentacles, which is literally the card of the observer. It's the sniper. So they evaluate a landscape before they strike, right? So there's a call and a need for you to really take inventory of your life so that you can see not only where the weak spots are, so that you can put protections up, but that you can understand where things are good, where where you're doing things right? That's that dotting the I's and crossing the T's nature of the Knight of Pentacles. Why is this coming up? We have the Page of Wands. Kid with a big active imagination, very, very passionate, tendency to run into things without thinking, right? Tendency to take on more than they can handle, bite off more than they can chew. There's a part of you that because you are so intelligent and you are so capable, you do take on too much sometimes. And that puts you in these nightmare situations, literally the Nine of Swords, right? And it's because you connect to things impulsively and overexert yourself. That's the pattern. Low-key, that's the pattern, right? What are the things you're committing to out of impulse? that's causing you to overexert yourself, that's leading to exhaustion and lack of sleep, but also leading you to have the same kind of regret due to overcommitment over and over again. That's something that your spirits really want you to observe as a pattern. And I get that you are the type of person that once you observe a pattern and you see it clearly, it becomes easy for you to break it. But right now, because you're so in the energy of busy, you can't even really see the pattern at all. That's why observation is coming up. I hope that makes sense, Lambalin. Let me know if that resonated with you or not. Alrighty, it is 9:30. I've been on here for an hour and a half. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up for the night. I want to thank everybody who tuned in. I want to thank everybody who, everybody who participated. I want to thank you. I will be back on Thursday for an Astro Hour reading. We did Happy Hour last week, so we'll do Astro Hour this week where we look at the energy of the month of April. I can't believe it's about to be April next week. That is insane. But we're going to get prepared, looking at the wisdom that Aries season has for us and how that positions us and prepares us for the month of April, okay? I love you all. I want you to take care of yourself, and I will see you on Thursday. All right, bye. Oh, I didn't do nail check. They're a little simple for me, but I like them a lot. I think they're pretty. It's not my typical. I'm typically a stiletto girl, but every now and then I will get a square set. And I thought that they were cute. So, yeah. All right. I'll see y'all Thursday. Take care. Bye.